Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Mike at Real Life Counseling. So today we're going to talk about fortune telling and mind reading. If you think you can tell the future, you're just going to destroy your present. Um, Fortune telling is where you think that you know the outcome before it happens, and interestingly enough, not positively. It's almost never positively. It's always negative. So you predict when you go on a job interview, you won't get the job. If a student is taking a test, I won't pass the test. If your friends ask you to go out to a bar or a club, I won't meet anybody. They won't like me. Um, if you're playing a sport, we're not going to win. We won't do well. Now, we all predict the future to some extent. We know that if we don't take care of ourselves, we may get sick. If we drink too much, whatever. So we do. There is always some predicting, but we're not talking about being a psychic. Um, this is really about the idea that you negatively, and it's always negatively, predict that something that you do is going to turn out negatively, or something that you want to do, and so you don't even do it because you're convinced it's not going to end well. Now, the question is, number one, what do you do? So, what are the chances of you being able to accurately predict an outcome? There are so many factors, there are so many variables that determine whether a team wins the game, someone passes a test, someone gets the job. There's no way you could ever predict it. In fact, I think it's possible a supercomputer would have a hard time figuring this out, especially when human decisions are involved. Um, so you need to question what is the reality, how realistic it is that you can accurately predict the future. The second thing is, when you've tried to do it in the past, how often have you been accurate? Now, maybe you've been accurate sometimes, but I would guess maybe no more than 10%. Most of the time, our prediction is wrong, especially when it comes to things with us and that where it's this negative reaction. So just ask yourself, how easy is it to predict? What are the facts? Where's the evidence? Do I have any data? And when I've tried to do this in the past, have I been successful or have I been wrong? I bet your predictions are as wrong as these professional psychics, how their predictions are wrong. The second, but similar thing that we do is mind reading. We think we know what someone's thinking. So if you do go out to that bar and you meet someone, you're going to say, "Oh, I know they don't like me. I can just tell. I just know they don't like me." Or you went to an interview. I know the interviewer didn't like me. I can just tell the way they were looking at me. I know I'm not going to get the job because I know they didn't like me and I'm not what they want. Now again, same thing with the fortune telling. We all have experiences. We all have intuition. We all have accumulated knowledge, and so when we've been in situations before, we may be somewhat good at picking up cues and body language, but we're not nearly as good as we think we are. And you can do the same thing. How difficult is it to read someone's mind? I mean, how many times have you been maybe just thinking you've been in a state where you just kind of in daydreaming, and someone thinks you're being rude to them, or maybe you were being mean to them, and you were just in another place. You didn't even hear what they said, but they assume maybe you were angry at them because you weren't paying attention. So we all do this. So you can ask yourself, how realistic is it that I can accurately read a person's mind when there's so many things going on in the human brain that we can't possibly know what's happening. Sometimes we don't even know what's happening inside our own brain. And the second thing is, again, how many times have you been right? When you think you can read a person's mind, are you right 50% of the time? 90% of the time? 10% of the time? Again, with fortune telling, I'll guess that you're probably right maybe 10% of the time. Maybe you're familiar with the situation. Maybe you know this person very well, so you're good at reading them. Sometimes husbands and wives can read each other very well. Well, sometimes they are terribly wrong and misinformed and mistaken, and that can lead to some real problems. So these are two things, two cognitive distortions, two ways that we think, this mind reading and fortune telling. And if you try to do this, if you try to predict what's going to happen in the future by thinking that you know, you're only going to ruin your present. Right? So let's see if you can stop doing that. Question, where's the evidence? Where's the proof? How easy it is to predict the future or read minds? And how accurate have I been in the past? Hope this helps. If you like this video, hit like. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. And if you want to get alerts on this, I'm going to try to get these out a little bit more frequently. You can hit the bell so you know when I'm making a new video. All right, see you next time.